I wouldn't say I'm not surprised. I mean, you want me to wait for you, Abby? You want me to wait? No. I got you. Okay, repeat.
Yeah. Are you surprised that you haven't lost a set during Big Ten season?
Okay, I'm not surprised. I think we know what we're capable of, and I think it's shown by not losing a set. And I think the Big Ten play has been a lot different than it's been in the past few years, and it's a lot different than what we've seen. So I think we're just adjusting to that, and we're excited to go to UCLA and USC. I think those will be some good games, and I think, if anything, those will be the two teams that, out of the past few weeks, that could test us and take a set potentially. But, I mean, obviously that's not the goal. We want to finish that in 3 per usual. But, no, I'm not surprised. I think we know what we're capable of, and I think that shows that.
That they could take a set from you when you just came from a ranked Minnesota and you guys played pretty well?
I mean, I think they play different type of volleyball. I think California has a different style of play. We've been watching USC a lot. A lot of those girls have been playing for a while, and California kind of has a different style of play, and I think that's just something for us to adjust to. And 2 sold-out crowds, I believe, and that's always going to be fun, and that's always a little bit nerve-wracking, just going to an away game in away gyms and playing against teams that have sold-out crowds. So it's going to be exciting, but I do think that those are 2 really good teams.
How is that style of volleyball different, and then what makes it difficult?
Like in beach volleyball, a lot of those girls probably grew up playing beach, and I think a lot of them might see the game a little bit differently. I think we're used to pass that hit, and I think they're good at rallying and jamming and finding new ways to score, probably different than what we've seen, because I feel like we're just used to pass that hit and then it be done.
Taylor, everyone on this team's hitting numbers kind of across the board are up this year from last year. What do you think are the biggest reasons that?
I think honestly it has to do with Bergen. I think that she's doing a really good job this year of receiving feedback from all of our hitters, but I think also like Danny's a really high level setter coach, and I think that also really helps, especially Campbell as well whenever she comes in. But I also think like it also kind of speaks to us as hitters. I think we're doing a really good job of also finding really good ways to score, and honestly find like more innovative ways to score than just like a roll shot or like a tip down the line or whatever. Like we're utilizing the jam, we're trying to go off block, like we're not trying to be afraid of the block, we're actually trying to utilize it just because we can see it as a strength and not just a weakness.
What do you think that versatility has shown up this year? Is that something that Danny has tried to train more?
I think so. I think she gives us the creative freedom to kind of experiment and just try things, and she's not really angry or anything like that whenever we try things. She's very much like, go for it, I like you to try different things, I want you to go for it and just experiment, just because I mean sometimes it's not going to work out, but like more times than not, if we keep going back to it over and over and over again, the likelihood of it being successful is really, really high.
Minnesota, where you tipped it to the back corner. Is that out of your comfort zone too? Is that kind of that creativity?
We call that tip of death.
Yeah, so we don't want to do the tip of death, but we do want to work on like a lot of jamming and like, let's just say it's like a high out of system ball, like throwing it into the blockers and seeing if that works, or even trying to recycle or recover something if it's not a great set, but just being more smart rather than just trying to just find a spot or just get over the net.
Harper, I guess just that creative freedom that Taylor was talking about, how has that maybe elevated your game in your junior year?
I mean, I agree with Taylor. I think Danny's open to us trying new things, and I don't think we're afraid to try new things and fail. I think, like Taylor said, she wants us to try that, and she wants us to maybe fail at some points, because you're not going to get any better if you don't fail at some point. So I think for outsides, like, we have to manage a lot of balls. We get out-of-system balls, we get junk balls, we get in-system. So I think it's just a lot of managing for us and finding new ways to score and maybe go for the kill, because sometimes I think as an outside, like, it's easy, we know that we're going to get a lot of junk balls, so you kind of get into the mindset of like, okay, I just need to keep this in and like wait for a better set or a better in-system ball. And I think it's hard because you kind of get stuck in that loop as an outside, because we know that we're going to get a lot of balls, but I think we just have to find better ways to be more aggressive and take those risks.
Harper, how have you seen Bergen kind of develop this year? Mm-hmm. How has it been the first couple of years that you were here together?
Yeah, I think it comes with experience. She's been here for 2-3 years now, so I think she's just seeing the game differently. I think I've said that many times. As you get older, you see the game differently and you become more experienced, and I think that's what's happening with her. I'm not gonna like talk about how hard she works and all that stuff, because we all know she works hard and we all know that she wants to be the best, but I mean, that goes without saying. She's obviously one of the best setters in the country, and I think she's proving that. And she deserves all the recognition that she's getting because she's put in that work, and she's helping our team be super successful. Like half the time, I don't even know if our passing numbers are great, but somehow we're still hitting 500 as a team, and that just speaks to Bergen and how good she is.
How does Danny's philosophy of go for it help Bergen kind of open up the offense and set tougher balls too?
Yeah, for both of me or both of us.
Both of you.
Okay.
You want to start?
No, you got it.
Well, I think honestly, I mean, we also have like this huge philosophy of just covering and stuff, so I think that also just helps overall everything. But I think honestly, like the amount of feedback we give Bergen also helps. But I think honestly, just really going for it and showing that we can get these kills off of balls that we're going for as we kind of keep going along season. Of course, in the beginning of the season, it's going to be a lot of high error, a lot of failure and stuff. But I think as we keep going throughout the season, we see more and more success. So I think that honestly gives Bergen a lot more confidence. Just like set these not ridiculous out-of-system balls, but like, go for it. She can go for it just like we can go for it.
I think it's easy to, like, as a setter, make the easy set. And I don't think Bergen has ever really been that type of setter. I think she's always kind of gone for it and been able to reverse the flow. But I think Danny's really happy with how she's run our offense, and I think Nebraska is always known for having a balanced offense, and that's how our setters have been trained. So I don't think Bergen's ever been the type to make the easy set. I think she as a player and as a person is willing to try new things and willing to fail. So again, I think that just speaks to how she is as a player, and again, like the fact that she's willing to do that also means that she's trusting us to make those big plays and make those swings. So I think it's all it's coming full circle for all of us, just seeing she's been able to grow in that aspect, and we've been also able to gain her trust.
Taylor, I mean, Bergen doesn't set every single ball to the out-of-system balls. So how has a team evolved this year to be a better out-of-system attacking team?
Honestly, I think that's a really good question.
Jalen yelling at us to set the ball better.
Yes, facts. Honestly, I think that actually comes down to kind of footwork, honestly, just as all attackers. Like, we all have to be really good at out-of-system because there are balls, like, sometimes where maybe one of our outsides are on the floor, so we have to reverse the flow. So I think, honestly, like, footwork is a really good thing that we have to really rely on, but then also, again, going for it. Like, we can't just set every single ball to our outsides because then we become predictable. And we can't become predictable as a team with how balanced our offense is.
Harper, Danny kind of identified out-of-system setting as one of the areas, I think, early non-conference that they could improve on. Do you think you've taken steps forward this year with your out-of-system?
Yeah, I think so. I think naturally hitting in-system is easier. And I do think, like, working with the littles on having more consistent out-of-system balls is going to make our job easier. But again, like, the point of out-of-system is because it's not perfect. So I think also as hitters, like, we have to shift our mindset to, okay, we know we're getting an out-of-system ball. It might not be perfect, but we still have to find a way, again, like I said earlier, to manage and to make it better. Because it doesn't all fall back on the littles and how good their set is. It also comes down to our footwork and our discipline and our training on how we can still make a high-level swing and if you don't get a kill, make the other team rally and make them play.
We're talking specifically, there was the one play last week where Laney had the diving save when the back row attack got blocked. Laney popped up and Bergen was 5 feet behind the 10-foot line and set it to you on the pin too. I mean, when you see Bergen that far away, what are you thinking to get a good shot off that play?
Yeah, I think I remember that play. In moments like that, I feel like what's going through my head is like, okay, this is a big play, a big rally, like, just go for it. I think those type of rallies and those types of saves that Laney and Bergen make, you just want to get that kill for them because they put all that work in to keep the ball up and to set you up. So I think in that moment, what was going through my head was just swing, and obviously it paid off. But I think in moments like that, that's really just a testament to our team's focus on defense and our team's focus on making teams play and making them earn their points. So yeah, like I said, I think I wanted to just go for it because, in rallies like that, when you want to end that rally, you're not going to win that long of a rally by tipping.
For either of you, what was it like hanging out in the North student section? Why it's important for you guys to support Mallory and Maisie?
Yeah, we knew Macy, like, the whole weekend was talking about getting home and going to that game. And then I think when we landed, I, for some reason, thought it was at Pinnacle. So when we realized it was at Bob, I looked at Taylor and I was like, we should just go for a little bit. And then Lainey and Ryan joined in on that, and we all showed up and we drove home right from the airport to here while parked our cars, ran inside, and just got in the student section. I think we were just really hyped up for Mal, and obviously she's going to be here in a few years, and her and Macy have a great relationship, and it's been super special to see how much Macy cares for Mal and how much she cares about her success. Macy's gone to all of her high school games and been watching her, and I think it was just cool that she finally was playing in Bob and in a place where we could all come and support her. So, she brought us cookies in the locker room today and thanked us for supporting her, and we're just super proud of her and excited for her to get here. It's obviously she grew up here, so I'm sure it's been a dream of hers for a long time. So just excited for Mal to get here.
Do you have a message for the players that are going to sign tomorrow, thinking back to your own signing day?
Oh, they're signing.
Crazy.
Not specifically just, yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's an exciting day. I remember when I signed coming to Nebraska. So, I mean, yeah, it's an exciting day, and I'm excited for them. I feel like that's kind of when it sets in that it's coming soon, and they're going to be here soon.
Harper, what's impressive?
So to you about what Andy's doing, getting this season.
I mean, we all know Andy. Yeah, we all know Andy's that good, but I mean, I think it all falls back to Bergen and our passing. To set the middles, you have to pass well, and even if we don't pass the best, Bergen's still able to find Andy the ball. And I know that they've worked on their connection a lot this year, and it's paid off really well. But I also think Campbell has been able to find ways to connect with the middles. During games, she obviously doesn't get the opportunity to set them as much as Bergen does, but I think Campbell's still been able to find ways to connect with them and get them the ball. And I think it's probably helpful for the middles to see a different type of set and hit off of both of them just to adjust and learn what they need and what they want out of the setters. So I think they've just put a lot of work into their connection, and it's pretty simple. I think it just pays off in games.
Taylor, as a follow-up, Andy was here a couple months ago, and their hitting percentage was down from last year, and she's like, I won't be worried. I know it'll come through. And obviously, she just hit 1,000, which is unbelievable. What have you seen from her off the court that's helped her stay mentally set to prepare for the moment?
I mean, I don't think there's anything different. I think that it's honestly, Andy's the same as she was this year and last year. I think that it just kind of comes down to, honestly, Danny's freedom to just kind of go for it. Like I said before, I think, honestly, Andy comes in the gym every single day prepared to do whatever she needs to do to be able to get a kill. So I think, honestly, the connection that she has with Bergen, I think, has also been amazing. The same thing with Campbell and kind of like what Harper said, being able to hit off different sets. But I think her mindset, I don't think is very different, but I think it just comes down to her just like wanting to get a kill, doing whatever she can to get a kill.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Does going to California for a weekend present any different challenges, or just is it another road trip in the Big Ten?
Oh, I think it's definitely challenges. You're 2 time zones away. Way longer flight. This actually, I don't know if anybody on our team's ever played in these arenas, so I think there's a lot of new challenges.
Put a couple home matches in LA?
Who knows? Of course there'll be a lot of Husker fans, but I'm guessing it's a lot of just volleyball general fans too that aren't necessarily diehard. So that's always a good thing though too.
What do you know about each team individually and how they play?
They're both really good. So UCLA, they have been up and down, but they have the players, that individuals that could start on a lot of teams. But they do play a lot of different players. And I think USC is rolling, and they're young, but super talented, and they're playing great as well. I feel like, this time of the year, there's teams getting better and teams that are pretty stagnant, and I feel like both these teams are getting better and playing well right now.
See PK back yet?
Yeah.
Healthy, get back on the court.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know if she's played too many back-to-back games, so we'll see, but I did see she was in there last one, so that was awesome.
Why was this one of the road trips you were looking forward to for the year?
But I think I've never played at either of these places indoor. Just done beach at USC, and seeing it's this time of year. Well, it's supposed to be great weather here this weekend, of course, but you're expecting colder weather in California to be nice, and so I think getting out of town to a nice climate is always good in the middle of the season too. And we'll get to do some extra things. We're leaving a day early, and that ended up being a great call because of flights and the government shutdown. So we shouldn't have any issues, but we'll get to do some stuff on Thursday, and then the day off in between. Won't just be sitting in our hotels.
That's it.
Yes.
What do you think have been the biggest reasons that the middle offense has been as good as it has been this year?
The biggest reasons, just I think the individual improvement of all 3 of them, and you can include Manai in that, and Bergen, and I think Campbell has helped Bergen to take more risks. I think the middles are just more confident. I think Bergen's playing great, so it's just the combination of all that.
How has Campbell helped Bergen take more risks?
I just think she's a risky setter, and that's a good thing. And in practice, when you see somebody else doing it, you tend to want to simulate it. So I think it's just made Bergen confident to do the same.
Earlier in the year, Andy came in here and she wasn't hitting her best percentage. She's like, I'm not worried. I know it will turn out okay. Last week, she basically hit perfectly, or not basically, she did. What have you seen from her as a coach that helped her stay confident to be successful?
She just comes in every day with, the same attitude, and she wants to continue to get better. And for her, those, that's a little bit each day. She's not going to see this huge amounts of growth. So being able to be okay with that and recognize the little bit of growth, eventually that's going to pay off. I think sometimes you want to see these massive improvements and jumps. So that just doesn't happen to somebody that's already really polished. So a little bit better, and then, I just think her communication and relationship with our both setters has been just awesome. All the middles and the setters have great relationships, so I think that's really paid off.
Bergen's the only setter on the ABCA semifinalist for Player of the Year. Just a team loaded with talent. How have you really seen her make the case for being one of the more important players on this Nebraska team?
Just her making the case would just be the consistency, and you haven't seen any dips in our offense. And besides just her setting, she's always in the top, leading the team in digs, and she's blocking great. She's one of our better servers, so I just think that being the complete player is something that's really important to our team, and people notice on a national level.
I think before conference season started, you identified out-of-system setting as one of the areas you could improve. Imagine if you're hitting 400, out-of-system setting is improved. I mean, how have you seen you take a step forward in that area?
We're not making as many errors. I also think our attackers are doing a great job of, recycle plays, and they're keeping the ball in play when they can't take a swing, and when they do have a great set, they rip it. So I just think they're making great decisions. And then our setting's gotten better too, and that just, it's practice and kind of figuring out what each player wants. If there is any difference, sometimes there's not. But I also think being able to set Virginia out of system has been just huge for the efficiency. She's pretty good out of system, and it's just nice to be able to mix that up.
Speaking of, Virginia, different look. The play where you run her up the middle, it really is one of the more effective plays. What is she able to do from a middle attack as opposed to being on the right pin?
Yeah, I think it just, you have Becca who's hitting over 400 on the slide, and you have Taylor who's hitting, 380 on the go. So, you can't triple block that. You got to make a decision. So I think that's why she's pretty effective, because she typically has a split or one up, and then you have a lot of court to use.
On the defensive side, you talked about the libero position can be fluid. It seems like Lainey has taken over the jersey a bit the past couple of weeks, and it culminated in her being Defensive Player of the Week this week. What have you seen from her that she's grown for this year?
Well, I wasn't here last year, so but from the beginning of the year, it's just, I think Lainey wants to win. She's an ultimate competitor. I think she was what I know she was like that the last 2 years, so I don't know if that's grown or changed, but she's just a great competitor and winner. She's a great communicator out there. She wants to take charge, so all those things go into being a great libero.
Let me clarify, and I apologize. Well, how has she grown under you from the beginning of the season to
Yeah, that's
to now?
just kind of what I answered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Danny, your Freedom Falcons won the 4th state championship on Saturday, first since 2014. Did you able to reach out to some people, see some of the highlights? Just how special was that for, it's just coincidental that your first year back here in Nebraska.
Yeah, it was a very cool coincidence. I don't have a lot of ties to the volleyball team anymore there. I've got some nieces that'll play volleyball here in about 10 years, so then I will. But it was just awesome to see them win, and I know they were a little bit of an underdog, so that's even more special. And I think it's just cool for a small town, like Freeman, to be able to do so well in all their sports, not just volleyball, but they're kind of a powerhouse in all sports in C2. So it's awesome. Pretty cool that it was I didn't even think about that, but I saw Kevin Suits had tweeted, what a coincidence. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, and even if you don't maybe have a direct impact, just how special is it for you to be kind of an influential figure to some of those girls on that team?
Yeah, for sure. Never take that for granted, or forget where you came from and people that helped you grow up and had a lot to do with your success growing up. So, it's pretty cool. I think it's even better that they were an underdog and they won it. It feels like the state tournament had a lot of underdogs that were winning and knocking teams off. So I haven't seen that much in Nebraska, or where I was just in Louisville and Kentucky. It was always the same teams winning it. And back when I was here, it felt like the same teams winning every year. And this year was a whole group of new teams. So that was pretty awesome.
Final questions?
Terea posted some really big passing numbers last week, the best in the country for an outside. How have you seen her grow as a passer since she got here?
Just the same stuff with everybody. I think the more you play, the more confident you get, and that is how Terea has gotten more and more confident. I think she knows teams are going to go after her because she's a freshman, so being able to deliver and stay strong mentally, and when you make a mistake, just not being able. She does a great job of not compacting mistakes. It's one, and then the next pass will be great. So I think then teams start to get off her. So she's just done a great job of working through, the mental part of volleyball where you're not going to play perfect. And that's paying off for her too. It's huge when she can post numbers like that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you all.